Hello, I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be an exciting one, something I don't do often, but it's gonna be a reading vlog, which I do often, but dedicated to only one book. And I will be reading Furry Bound by Sable Sorensen. This is book 2 of a Wolves of Rune novel. If you haven't seen, I just reread Dire Bound. I'll show you the first book in the series. It was absolutely amazing. I love this, and now I'm on to book 2. Also, look at this, so pretty, like, excuse me, amazing. Yeah, so if you don't know anything about this book, it's a fantasy book where humans bond with wolves, and they make a pair and they have to fight these kind of like vampires, I guess. Siphons they're called, but like, you know, siphons, vampires. Anyways, yeah, in book 1, like the ending of book 1, I'll keep this spoiler free because I don't want to say a lot, but it ended on such a high note. I'm very excited to read this. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. I reread the first book in like 10 pages. Oh my god, I just realized, look at this. It's amazing. Anyways, so yeah, I finished my reread in 10 days. So hopefully it takes me around 10 days to read this. We'll see, but yeah, so excited. I'm very excited about this book new when it came out because I knew I was gonna enjoy it. So hopefully that's the case. And yeah, I'll try to read a couple of chapters and update you as much as I can during my read of this because yeah, I'm excited. I'll see you very soon. Bye. Hello. So I have made some progress into the book. I'm stuck. Okay, I'm now on chapter 12, so that's 118 pages read. So this book starts right away. Like, I think on chapter 2 there was already a battle where like Marin discovers her new powers. I'm gonna try to keep this spoil free because the book is kind of new and I don't want to tell everything that's happening. But yeah, there's a battle right away. Marin discovers everything. Well, discovers the power of her force, and bad things happen. Killian is still there, still doing things that he shouldn't be doing. Marin's sister is still there. There's Stark. We meet Stark's mother, who is something very interesting. And yeah, just I'm enjoying this a lot. Like, I knew I was gonna enjoy it because the first book was so good, but like I was kind of scared because sometimes while the first book in a series is amazing, the rest is not that much. But this, so far, it hits the mark for sure. Like, yeah, it reads super quick. Also, like, it's kind of scary because the book is very big, but there's not that many pages. Let's see, 584 pages. It kind of looks bigger, but yeah, I've read what, 20% maybe in the book. Also, it's so gorgeous. Like, anyways, I'm gonna go and read it a bit more. It's Friday today. I'm off, but I have so many things to do. But anyways, I'm bringing this book to work with me now because I want to read it. So hopefully I can finish it before next week. We'll see. Not before Monday, but before like next Friday, hopefully. But yeah, I'll see you in the next update. Bye. Hello. So I just got home from work, made myself an iced coffee, and I'm ready to talk about Furry Bound because I've been reading a lot. Let me just start with this. Very good. Okay. I made a lot of progress. There's a lot of post-its. So I am now on chapter 32, so that's page 313, and I believe yeah, I'm more than halfway through the book. It's amazing. I'm enjoying this so much. Okay, I put a lot of post-it to talk about a lot of things. So let's start with the beginning. Not the beginning of the book, but my first post-it. So on chapter 16, also I decided to not keep this spoiler free because I have a lot of thoughts and I have to talk about. So chapter 16, Isabel dies because because she drank something that was supposed to be for Marin. So she drank amber wine that was poisoned, and it's like things keep piling up. It's a very hard beginning of being queen for Marin, and now she loses her friend that, I mean, it was supposed to be her that passed away at this point, but Isabel drank it, and well, at this point, like, it was very sad. There's a lot of people that started to be pissed at Marin because, well, Isabel died. Now, next post-it. On chapter 17, so like 2 pages later, she reacts, Marin, the queen, reacts to Isabel passing away, and she's like, I don't care if I'm out of control anymore. I don't care if I'm letting my emotions consume me, if I'm leaving myself open to something sinister. Then she kills a bunch of people that she shouldn't have killed. So people are kind of afraid of her and afraid of what she can do. Also, she can't control all of her powers. So she's too strong for her own good. And she needs to learn how to use those powers in a good way. Then, after, she's gonna, at this point, she hasn't killed anyone, but then she's about to kill the guy responsible for poisoning her friend, but so Marin is like, you killed Bonded, and the guy reacts and says, who gives a shit about some Bonded dying? I was only doing what others were too cowardly to attempt. You're not my queen. And then boom, she explodes. She kills the guy and his whole family. And then she says, now you've seen what your queen is capable of. So she's kind of like trying to scare people into disobeying her. Anyways. And she tries to explain why she did it, but still, like, it's fine that she killed the guy, but the whole family, I'm not sure. Then she says, I do not intend to rule Nocturna with an iron fist. So she's like, I killed this guy, but I'm not gonna be killing everybody. It's just so you know that you cannot do that. Then a bunch of things happens. There's a whole pack of wolves and Bonded that goes and help Killian, like they defect and go on Killian's side. But there's Noemi, which is like a childhood friend of Stark. So the wolf, not the wolf, his wolf is Kratos. But anyways, Stark is like the protector of the queen. So Noemi is his friend, and she's from the pack that defected and went to Killian. But at this point, the queen has the most power. So if she says something to someone, they should follow her. So she tells Naomi, remember Mimi, Alistair Brightbane is inside of Killian now. You cannot go to him. And then boom, Noemi snaps out of it and stays with them. So that was nice. It's to prove that if you want, you can go against your pack. There's like the sun goes away and comes back. Anyways, then when Marin's tried to sleep, she gets into this weird world where Killian is trying to talk to her without Alistair. So Alistair is like the first big guy, and he's been going into his descendant's body. So sometimes he is inside of Killian, but at this point he is not. But she sees Killian in her dream, and she says, The nobles have seen it for themselves now. They know you have no control over your powers. They went running back to their fiefdoms in Fearmere. You know what they're calling you? The mad bitch of Stormfrost. And, well, she is a mad bitch, but also it's like those dreams, not dreams, are like her... It's like she's looking at herself in the mirror and sees her worst fears. Anyways, Killian, I hate him. Anyways, we'll see where that goes. Then a bit later, so that's on what chapter? Chapter 22. So on top of the book there's a quote. It says, "Only a monster can lead me out of the dark," and well, the monster is Stark. Then chapter 23. Okay, so they come to the front to see what happened, because the pack that left open like a very important point for the whole population. It's like it was protecting a city that produces grain, so to feed people, and they are there and trying to see what's happening. And then there's Sela, I don't know how to pronounce her name, that's Meryn's sister. She turned a siphon, so a vampire. She likes to drink blood, and Meryn realized that she cannot bring her to the city because it smells like blood. And Anasa, so Meryn's wolf, says that is the smell of blood. And then Meryn thinks, helpful as always, Anasa. Thought it was funny. Anyways, then there's a bunch of political things happening, but I'm not gonna like go on to that because that's a lot. But Meryn's father died a long time ago, before her sister was even born, and well, he died, that's what she thinks. But then, standing before me is my father, who I know has been dead for 11 years. He's been turned into a siphon, anyways, the vampire. And I was like, oh my god, I was not expecting that at all, so that shocked me. Yeah, then Meryn and her father talks, but Meryn is very pissed at her father because at that point I think she was 11 years old and had to take care of her sister and her mom and everything. Then she says to her father, the story's true, but the merciful, innocent girl you remember died when her father did. So, you know, she wants to be clear about what she is now. Then a little bit later, boom, Meryn and Stark finally they do things, okay? At one point, Stark tells her, "I'm gonna take you over my knee and spank you like the obstinate brat you are." And I thought it was very funny because she is a brat. Then Stark, finally, I surge up, flipping us over so she's beneath me and bring my mouth down to earth. Finally, so that's on page 276 of the second book. That was a slow burn. So slow. Anyways, then the next chapter, they do things. Then next chapter, they go into the city that's like Siphon City, and they realize that they kind of been told lies, but at the same time Meryn is not very she's not sure. She doesn't trust Siphon. And then her father kisses like his girlfriend that's also a Siphon named Ruby, and she says and the two of them proceed to engage in one of the most vomit-inducing public displays of affection I've ever witnessed, in front of his two daughters, I have to say. Then we're almost to the point where I'm at. So they are in the city, and Meryn is like, because Siphon, they drink human blood, right? And Meryn tries to figure out like, what are the humans to the Siphon? And well, they apparently have the same rights, but also the humans can go and sell their blood. So it's like prostitutes, but for blood. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Then she says that drinking from a child is a crime, so they're not allowed to drink from a kid. And then they explain that sometimes they find kids that have no parents, like human kids, and they bring they bring them to the city to save them. The thing is, Marion thought the Siphon were stealing kids, but we still don't know who the Nabbers are. So we see the Nabbers in the first book, and we still don't know who they are, but clearly it doesn't look like they're these Siphons. So probably from the Killian side. We also realize at this point that the king of the Siphon hates Killian and Alistair Brightbane, so like the first. So it looks like they've been fighting the same enemy. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It's a long update, but honestly, this is so good. I'm so excited to keep on reading, but yeah, I'll see if I can read more tonight. Tonight it's Saturday, so I for sure think I can finish this before Wednesday, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. And anyways, I'll see you in my next update. Bye. Hello. I have finished Furry Bound, and well, I have a lot to talk about. Last time I updated you, I was on chapter 32. Let me just find, yeah, chapter 32. So let's go through the post-its, which I don't know if you can see them, but there's a lot. Okay, first, so she's on her way to meet King Lucian, the king of the Siphons, and well, when she gets to the castle, King Lucian is not there. Is his servant that greets them, and Marion is kind of pissed about it. Now, let's see, what is this? When they get there, there's no place for the wolves inside of the castle, and Stark is kind of pissed at it. So he's like, respect or decapitation, your choice, because for him the wolves are not pets, and the Siphons are like, we don't keep pets inside, which, I mean, the wolves are not pets. Then they finally meet King Lucian, and well, Marion says he's beautiful to an almost painful extreme. I don't know, from in my head, vampires are like Edward from Twilight, and he's not beautiful. Anyways, then they sit down to eat, and there's a bunch of like women coming in the room that they are in, and they start like going on the laps of the Siphons and King Lucian, and Marion is like, maybe it's normal here for people to have an orgy or two before dinner starts, just to work up an appetite, which is kind of funny, but the reason is because their food is actually the humans, you know? So they eat while they drink the blood of humans. Then they talk about like Marion has a bracelet that Killian gave her, which like gives power, but then it's called a Thrall, Thrall, and Killian was trying to make them before King Lucian became king, and that's why he wasn't able to not Killian, sorry, Alistair, that's inside of Killian. Anyways, he was trying to make trolls that were very powerful, and basically a troll works as a connection. Yeah, I'm trying to see. That's pretty much it. That's what we learn here. Then we go back into her Lucian's mind of what happened when he became like king, and it's like 1,000 years ago, so it was Lucian and Alistair, and Lucian tells him, their father tells Alistair, there's been a very, very serious accusation against you. It is said that you have been creating troll bracelets, which is not something they want to do, you know. Anyways, then Alistair lies, and then he kills his dad, but then Lucian becomes king. Also, Alistair was like, I'm making troll bracelets for the good of our country, which not really, it was for his own good. Then Lucian and Meryn kind of realize that they want the same thing, which is basically Killian. So it says Meryn's thinks we're going to invent new ways for Killian Valtieri to die because she wants to end him. So yeah, anyway, she's still trying to find a way to get rid of her bracelet. Then when they talk about the bracelet and the powers that come with the bracelet, basically that Killian is able to draw from the powers of Meryn, Lucian is very surprised. It says, I've never seen a bracelet work this way, which basically means that Alistair found a new way to make those troll bracelets, and well, they don't know what to do with Meryn's bracelet because they don't know how it works. Then they talk about the aging of siphons, and Lucian says, we age at the same pace as humans until we're in our early 20s, and then it slows greatly. However, our appearance depends on the quality of the blood we drink. With human blood, you can stay young and handsome forever. So, if they drink good blood, they stay younger. Anyways, then Lucian is like, we have the same enemy, so we should be together to fight that enemy. The enemy is Alistair and Killian, obviously. So he wants to have a ceasefire to be able to go against Alistair. And then Lucian is like, if you want to do that, I'll give you the power to command the, well, Astrionian forces, so basically the siphons and all it includes. So they're now together. But then, let's see. Well, there's a bunch of romance between Meryn and Stark, which, I mean, is interesting, but at the same time, not that much. So there's a bunch of sex. But that's my main issue with this book, is that the sex scenes are very boring, unfortunately. But, you know, the political intrigue is way better in this than the romance. So, sorry. Anyways, then, at one point, she has to help Noemi. She feels in the connection between all of them that there's something wrong. So when she gets there, Noemi is trying to kill King Lucian. And then we realize, well, we learn why. It's because Noemi, when she was going to her trials to bond with the wolves, she was chosen as the companion of the king. And it wasn't her choice. It was her family choice. So she was like used as a toy, I guess, and King Lucian is kind of doing the same thing with women, so Noemi hates him. And that's pretty much it for this chapter. Okay, now chapter 38. Do I have something to say? No. Oh, there's like this tears that are basically diamonds or whatever, and they have powers, and Meryn has two. So the necklace that she gave her sister and the one in her crown, and then they realize that there are, I don't remember, 6 or 7 or 5, something like that, and King Lucian has another one. So they are kind of, there's a lot of like going back and forth as to what the tears are doing. There's also the mother priestess. Anyways, we see her at the crowning of the queen. She has another one. So Meryn is like trying to figure out what they mean. Then okay. Stark's mother dies. Starks become the sovereign alpha, but at the same time it means that Meryn's kingdom, Norturna, has fallen, which is a problem. Anyways, then Starks will discover that he has a lot of new powers that are very dangerous, and yeah, you'll see the end. The end pissed me off so much. Anyways, yeah, let's see. Starks gets the power before he realizes that his mother is dead, so he's like, gets very strong and gets very confused. Then King Lucian, yeah, she's trying to figure out her way to help Queen Marion defeats Alistair, and they realize that they have to work together to bring the tears and everything. And King Lucian is like, I'm gonna help you if you marry me. Of course, that doesn't go well with Stark and Marion and all of that. Anyways, Starks then says, damn every last soul to stay by your side, Marion. So obviously Starks doesn't want Marion to marry King Lucian. Then let's see. They're still trying to figure out the tears. They realize that when King Lucian has the tear on him, he's stronger, and Alistair also has one, so he's even stronger, and that's how he gets everybody on his side. Then Marion goes back into her dream where she meets Killian, and she's trying to get information. So Killian says that he worked with Alistair to develop this bracelet that steals Marion's power. Then to try to surprise Killian, Marion tells him that King Lucian has a tear. To go there, but she also realized that Killian and Alistair are trying to find the tears, so Marion will have to find a way to find the other ones before Alistair gets them, because otherwise he's gonna be too strong. Then they realize that they have to go to an island that's kind of far away and nobody has been able to enter because everybody has died during there. But also on that island there's a tower with the 4 signs of the packs, the wolf packs. So Strategos, Deimos, Kryptos, and Phylax. So Marion knows that she has to go there. So with King Lucian, Stark, Noemi, Venna, they're gonna go, okay? They're gonna go to the island and try to figure out why it's so important. They believe that there's a tear that's hidden there. Anyways, then she talks with her dad, not very important to the story. Then they get to the island, but before they're going by boat, obviously, because it's an island, but the boat cannot reach it, so they have to swim. Noemi almost dies in the water. It's hard, but then when they get to the island, they're not wet anymore. Like, the island dries them like this. Like, it was weird. But then there's a bunch of trials in that. I've put no post-it because it's all very complicated, but there's a trial for every single pack, and they have to get them all to be able to reach the tear. Also, at one point, Marion has to sacrifice herself, and everybody thinks that she's dead, but she's not. She comes back, but then Starks gets really pissed at her because he's like, you killed yourself. And yeah, there's another sex scene. I don't care. But yeah, so they found another tear on the tower. Then Marion realized that the goddess is actually like the one that gave birth to the first queen of Stormfrost. So yeah, her name is Lumina. So the faceless goddess. Her name is Lumina, and yeah. Then they realized that the father is called Nocturne, and he kind of stole the powers of Lumina because, I don't know, it's complicated, but Lumina maybe cheated on him. Anyways, then Marion realized that her mother wasn't crazy. She was actually telling the story of her family, but Marion thought she was crazy. Anyways, let's see. Then they have to go fight Killian, which they do. Oh no, first they go into a city where there's the faceless goddess statue, because Marin thinks there's a tear that's hidden there. But once they get there, they see Mother Priestess, which is kind of like the Pope. We'll say that, kind of like the Pope. And then they, well, kill her and steal her tear. So I think there's 7 tears, because now with King Lucian and all the tears that they found, they'll have 6 together. But the last one is destruction, because every tears has a power. One is creating, one is destruction. I don't know. It's not that important. But like, anyways. Then Vena almost dies because of Killian. And she gets turned into a vampire by King Lucian. Now we learn that Killian is very close to the main city of Stormfrost, called Blumenfall. So Marion is like, we need to go there. Then they go and get there. They realize that if they bring all the tears together, they can also see the future. It's a power anyways, so they know what to do. Then another sex scene, which I don't really care. Then it's time to go fight Killian. Okay, we're now on chapter 58. So their plan is to pretend that Stark is now a prisoner of Meryn, and that Meryn will give him to Killian. And then they'll hide Noemi so that Killian thinks there's just Meryn and Stark. Also, Vena left with King Lucian to learn how to be a vampire. Let's see. Okay, so when they reach the city, there's the Phylax pack that defected and went all on Killian's side. They all look at her, and that's kind of funny because she says, I studied the Phylax bonded and noticed that many don't meet my eyes. Shame over what they've done. Fear of the mad bitch of Stormfrost who can rip them apart with a mere gesture. Anyways, that was funny. Killian is like, show me that you have all the tears you promised. Then Killian is not stupid, okay? He knew what Meryn was gonna do, so there's a bunch of drama happening, but then Meryn manages to kill Killian and Alistair at the same time. But then there's a bunch of things happening. Anyways, so we'll go back to Stark, because I think the last chapter is probably the most important, because so Stark, we learned that he's hiding things for Meryn, and he says that his mom encouraged him to to hide things with his wolf, because the wolf could have shared things with his mate, so Meryn's wolf. Kinda, anyways. Then Stark says, perhaps Meryn too will soon face the nightmare god himself, the source of her cataclysmic shadow powers, or other god ancestor, Nocturne. And we're like, what is happening? Nocturne, like, you remember what I said, Meryn has kind of some types of dreams where Killian is there? Well, Stark has that with Nocturne, so the dark god. Anyways, so we're in the dream now, which is not really a dream, it's just a space where things happen. Stark says, I gave you a command, and you disobeyed me, wretch. Nocturne is closer now, and the strange blue shadow that comes of him is almost blinding, a paradox of shadow and light. The tears must be put together. So, Lumina, when she shed the tears, and she put them all over, she imprisoned Nocturne. Now this god was trying to bring them all back together so he could return to the world, okay? Stark is like, why have you not freed yourself before this and all these millennia? The Nocturne answers, do you not think I've tried? She had me so tightly imprisoned. It is only now, with her tears nearly reunited, that I can come to your family like this, show myself fully, and not just issue wretched whispers in the night. Yeah. So, I don't know if you see where I'm going, but since the beginning, we think that Stark's family is linked to the Stormfrost line, so they're like their protectors. But then that's not true. Stark tells Meryn, and this is the last sentence of the book, my family is not sworn to the Stormfrost. We are sworn to Nocturne. The Dark God has returned. He's been lying to Meryn for all this time. I just want the next book to be out, and that's gonna be next year. Anyways, I love that book, except the sex scenes, but the rest, oh my god, that book was way better than the first book, and I'm so excited to see the third book. Anyways, that was a long update, a long vlog, but I'm very happy I finished that book. Also kind of sad because I already want to reread it. Anyways, but yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye!